Once upon a time, in a quiet town surrounded by misty hills and lush forests, there lived a 5-year-old girl named Lily. She was a small, curious child with big, round eyes and hair as soft as the feathers of a dove. Her mother, who had passed away nearly a year ago, had been Lily's best friend. They shared a bond so strong that even after her mother's death, Lily often spoke to her, feeling as if she could still hear her mother's voice and smell her soft lavender scent. Lily lived with her father, Jacob, a gentle and kind man who adored his daughter more than anything. Losing his wife had left a deep scar on his heart, but he did his best to stay strong for Lily, trying to fill her days with love and happiness despite their grief. One crisp autumn morning, as Jacob prepared Lily's school lunch, she came skipping into the kitchen, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "Daddy," she said in a whisper as if sharing a secret, "Mommy comes to school every day to see me." Jacob froze, nearly dropping the apple he was slicing. He looked at Lily, his heart aching. He knew Lily missed her mother deeply and sometimes imagined her being close by, but this was something new. "What do you mean, sweetheart?" he asked gently, kneeling down to her level. Lily's eyes sparkled. "She's always there when we're outside for recess. She sits on the bench under the big oak tree, and she waves at me." She pointed to the small locket around her neck, which contained a picture of her mother. "See? She looks just like the picture." Jacob smiled, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "That's lovely, honey. But remember, Mommy's with the angels now." Lily just smiled back, as if she understood something he didn't, and skipped off, humming softly to herself. Days passed, and Lily continued to talk about her mother's visits, each time adding more details. She described her mother's dress, her gentle smile, and the way she would brush Lily's hair back, just as she used to at home. It wasn't just talk, Lily was insistent. Sometimes she would ask her father why he didn't come to school to see her mother, too. After hearing her stories for days, Jacob felt both a strange curiosity and a chill. He decided to visit her school, hoping to find some clue, perhaps a kind teacher or friendly woman whom Lily might have confused for her mother. The next day, he took off work and drove Lily to school. When they arrived, Lily pointed eagerly to the bench under the big oak tree in the schoolyard. "That's where Mommy always sits," she said with confidence. Jacob stared at the empty bench, feeling a pang of sorrow, wondering if Lily's imagination was just a reflection of her longing for her mother. Still, he wanted to understand, so he decided to speak with her teacher, Miss Harper. Miss Harper was a warm, understanding woman who had noticed Lily's strange behavior as well. She took Jacob aside and explained that Lily often sat by the oak tree during recess, talking as though someone were there with her. The teachers had assumed she was talking to herself or perhaps pretending her mother was there as a way to cope, but Lily wasn't the only one who had seen something. "We do have a strange incident that some of the children have mentioned," Miss Harper said hesitantly, lowering her voice. "They say they've seen a woman sitting there too. A woman who looks like Lily's mother. But, of course, we know that's not possible. Some of the children probably just overheard Lily and are repeating what they heard." Jacob's heart raced. Miss Harper's words unsettled him. Could it be that Lily's stories weren't just the imaginations of a lonely little girl? Determined to put his mind at ease, Jacob decided to stay at the school for the day. At recess, he stood near the school building, watching the children play. He kept his eyes on the oak tree, feeling almost foolish as he searched for someone. Just as the bell rang, signaling the end of recess, a gentle breeze swept through the playground. A sudden shiver ran down his spine as he thought he caught a glimpse of a woman, someone familiar, with flowing hair and a gentle smile, but when he blinked, she was gone. Jacob's hands trembled. He felt an urge to walk over to the bench, and as he did, he noticed a faint, familiar smell, lavender, his late wife's favorite scent. He had once bought her a lavender-scented perfume on their anniversary, and now, for a fleeting moment, it was as though she were right beside him. Later that evening, after Lily had fallen asleep, Jacob couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. He decided to look through some of his wife's belongings, hoping for some kind of comfort. While sifting through an old box, he found her diary, a book he had never dared to open before. On a whim, he opened it, and a letter fell out. It was addressed to him, dated a year before her passing. "Dearest Jacob," the letter began, "I know I won't be with you and Lily forever. I have felt it for a long time now, but I want you to promise that you'll keep her close to the oak tree. It has always been a place of peace for me. I don't know how, but I believe I will always be there to watch over her, in some way. Love her twice as much as we both did, and remember, she will never be alone under that tree." As he read, Jacob's eyes filled with tears. His wife had somehow sensed her departure and had left him with this cryptic message. Had she known she would linger, if only as a memory, to watch over their daughter, determined to find answers, Jacob returned to the schoolyard the next day, this time after hours. He sat on the bench, looking up at the towering branches of the oak tree, feeling a mix of hope and dread. The breeze rustled the leaves above him, casting shadows that seemed to dance and shift, and then, he heard it, a soft whisper, calling his name, Jacob. He spun around, his heart pounding. The voice was faint, almost as if carried on the wind, but unmistakably hers. Suddenly, he understood, Lily hadn't been making it up. Somehow, his wife's presence lingered here, bound to this tree. It was a comforting yet haunting revelation. The next morning, Jacob finally sat down with Lily. "Sweetheart," he said softly, "when you see Mommy, can you tell her something for me?" Lily nodded, eyes wide. "Tell her I love her, and that we miss her. And that we're okay." Lily grinned, as if it was the simplest thing in the world. "She already knows, Daddy." And with that, Jacob felt a peace he hadn't felt since her passing, knowing his wife would always be watching over their daughter from the shade of the oak tree, exactly as she had promised.